In the ring right now, Rick Morton, and headed this way. Here he comes. Still has the Unified World title around his waist. Hot stuff Eddie Gilbert carries that crown in his hand, claims to be the new king. Hot stuff Eddie Gilbert defending the belt here today. It's on the line. World title at stake. Special time limit agreed to by both challenger and champion for television purposes here today. We are just about to get it started. Kevin Christian's going to be refereeing this one. There's the crown and the shades and the warm-up jacket from Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. Rick Morton going to be quick, says Hot Stuff. Referee calls for the bell. We're underway with a world title match. Eddie Gilbert. Tell you what, I think when Eddie Gilbert started talking about Rick Morton as an opponent, when he found out that Rick had signed a contract to come in here and wrestle for the Unified World belt, I think Eddie had sort of a different idea about the way things might unfold, because he felt that he and Rick had similar backgrounds and similar feelings toward the fans, for instance. Hasn't worked out quite that way. Rick Morton, boy, what a battler he is. Gilbert overusing the ropes. He steps outside, puts his left foot over the bottom rope. That means the referee wants a break, and now Gilbert comes out of there yelling, "Hey, break it up when I'm over the ropes." Trying to referee and wrestle. Never a lack of confidence from Eddie Gilbert. He's got that left arm twisted. Got like a half twist. See Rick Morton kind of gritting his teeth there. But he's hanging in there, not giving it up, holding onto that wrist. Gilbert's really putting some pressure on. It's not a hold that's going to get you a pin, but it hurts. May eventually lead to a pin. Oh, shoulder butt. Eddie Gilbert comes off the ropes. Rick Morton hits the mat. Gilbert said it wasn't going to take long. Well, we'll see about that. Already more than a couple of minutes into the match. Gilbert again, confident of that hold he's got, twisting the wrist and lower arm. In fact, the main pressure is actually on the wrist and the elbow with that hold. Referee has asked Rick Morton, "You want me to tell him to ring the bell?" Rick Morton says, "Nope." Rick Morton comes off the rope, ducks under. Down to the mat goes Eddie Gilbert. Now Rick Morton makes a move, trying to take control of the match and go for the world title right here. He's got him staggered. Down to the mat goes Eddie Gilbert. Count is 1, 2. Oh, only a 2 count. He was close. He almost had him. Rick Morton puts the bar on the left arm, and Rick Morton now has got to be feeling much better about his chances for walking out of here with a world title around his waist. He's got a bar on Eddie Gilbert's left arm. It's 1 against 1. And oh, my goodness, he doubled up the fist and nailed him. Gilbert picking him up by the hair. He's going to run him into the turnbuckles, but Rick Morton blocked him and reversed him. And now Rick again trying to take control, presses him off the top rope. 1, 2, again. He's very close to a 3 count, but only a 2. Rick Morton again. This time he bars the arm. Tough to keep the shoulders down with this hold. But he just missed for the second time in the match, being the world champion. He was within 1/2 count of having the belt around his waist. Eddie Gilbert's pulling his hair. You can see that head snap back. Yeah, he's got a handful. Yeah, look at that. Good shot. Yeah, you saw that hand pulling his hair, yanking that head back. Oh, Rick Morton answers in kind. He snapped the thumb on Gilbert's left hand.
He's trying to break.
And Gilbert's complaining about it. He's trying to break the jammed thumb, he said. you don't want your sore thumb hurt, quit pulling hair. Quit using the fist. Rick Morton takes him down to the mat. Eddie Gilbert now. Sort of on his right side. Again, the arm bar by Rick Morton. I tell you what we're going to do. I mentioned the special TV time limit. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll keep the tape rolling. And if anything should happen while we're away for commercial break, we'll show you that video when we come back. But for right now, let's take a short break. We'll be back. Well, we're back into action. During the time we were away, basically the advantage has stayed with Rick Morton, although Eddie Gilbert has had a moment or two. He was trying to take control right there. Rick Morton again gains control, putting the bar on that left arm. What he has done, he's been able to keep Gilbert tied up enough with that arm bar that Gilbert has to be figuring ways to get out of the hole rather than trying to figure ways to win the match at this point. You would have to give that advantage to Rick Morton at the moment. Rick Morton, I think wrestling fans all over remember him as half of the Rock and Roll Express, one of the all-time favorite tag teams in the history of wrestling. But I think many of you also know that Rick is a devastating single wrestler from time to time. He has broken a rule or two. That's Rick hanging right there in the ropes. Eddie Gilbert moved out of the way as Rick had already committed, but now Eddie is having to use the time to recover. Gilbert grabbing Rick's left arm, wraps it around the ring post. The referee is counting him back in the ring. And here comes Eddie Gilbert back in. Oh, runs right into a fist. Rick Morton was waiting for him, had it doubled up. Nails him again in the top of the head. Oh, goodness. Eddie Gilbert, just as the bell sounded, said, "Dave, it won't take long." Boy, was he wrong. And he has been at a disadvantage. Most of the match hasn't counted two. The shoulders were down. Rick didn't really have him in a very good pin position, but Eddie, I think, is getting a little tired, and the shoulders were down. When the shoulders are down, the referee's going to start to count on you, and that's exactly what happened right there. And Rick Morton working on that left arm and left hand. There you see a hold. Fingers entwined. But it's Rick Morton who has the leverage to make the hold work. Morton into the ropes. Leaps over. Takes Eddie Gilbert down to the mat. And just about everything that Eddie Gilbert has tried to set up, every play he's tried to run, if you will, has backfired on him here today. Rick Morton has come up with the advantage, this time with a top wrist lock. Well, that's one way. Bit him. He poked him in the eyes with his fingers, and then he bit. There he goes again. Well, the world champion. Smacks him down to the mat with a DDT. 1, 2. Oh, put on the bottom rope, and the referee saw it and stopped the count at 2. Eddie Gilbert thought he had him, and it looked for a moment as though Rick Morton's challenge for the belt was over for this time. But put on the bottom rope, he's still in there. He's not in very good shape, though. Eddie Gilbert clotheslines him, goes for the cover again. Referee counts 1, 2. And again, very close, but only a 2 count, says the referee. This match continues. Rick Morton thrown into the top rope. Eddie Gilbert feeling good. He's saying, "I got him." 2. And again, Rick Morton puts the foot on the bottom rope, and that stops it. Foot on the rope. Eddie Gilbert, I think, thought he had won it. He was raising his own hand. I think he thought that the 3 count had fallen, but not 2. Morton was close enough to the rope. He put his foot on the bottom rope and is still alive in this match. The World Unified title at stake. Eddie Gilbert, the champion, defending against a very rugged Rick Morton. That's Rick lying in the ring. Eddie Gilbert. See that right fist doubled up? He's on the middle rope. Here he comes. And now the cover. The King, says Eddie Gilbert. Count is 2. No, he kicks out of it. Rick Morton's out at the 2 count. Boy, I tell you, with both of these guys, I've thought a half dozen times that the match was over. But that last ounce of energy, they've been able to kick out of it. Now Gilbert around behind. Possible sleeper hold. Referee's got to make sure it's up on the chin and back on the pressure points on the neck and not wrapped across the throat in a choke. So far, he's satisfied it's okay. Gilbert holding on for dear life, trying to wear down Rick Morton. Rick reaching for the ropes. He would love to get there if he could get into the ropes. That means the referee would break the hold, but he's not going to be able to make it. Referee Kevin Christian's right there watching, and yeah, from our vantage point, I would agree that it's a legal hold. There's 2. One more time, the referee checks. Oh, Rick Morton holds up the arm. He's still in there. He's not quite as bad a shape as we thought there, as the referee refused to stop it. I don't know. Looks to me like Gilbert's got a pretty good hold, but Rick Morton's still holding that arm up. Gilbert using the right fist. Down to 1, 2. Oh, and again, Rick Morton kicks out of it. I tell you what, I'm amazed that Rick Morton's able to kick out of it at this point after the beating these two guys have given each other and the holds that they have used just to wear each other down, to sap the strength across the knee. Eddie Gilbert now goes for the cover. 1, 2. Oh, and again, just before the 3 count, and the referee says only 2. I was set to ring the bell, but the action will continue on USWA Championship Wrestling. You are looking at a world title match. Not 2 of the biggest champions and contenders you've ever had as far as raw physical size, but I don't think you could have any better balanced competition than we've been able to show you right here on TV today. There again, the referee's checking, but Rick Morton, he is all right. He is hanging in there. Time is a factor. Remember the special TV time limit, and there is 1 minute left in the time limit. 1 minute left in the special TV time limit, and then time will expire. We'll have to ring the bell. And what a shame if we can't give you a winner after both of these guys at various points in the match have actually shown that they deserve to be the winner of the match. The world title hangs in the balance. Eddie Gilbert has got to be figuring that time is on his side. If he can hang on now for 30 seconds, he is going to retain the belt. Eddie's feeling mighty good right now. He does not even at this point, I think, have to worry about getting a pin. He ties those legs up, though, of Rick Morton. Can he get a submission? Time winding down. We have 15 seconds left. We're going to have to ring the bell. It's a championship match. No grace period here. When we get to the time, we're going to ring it. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. There's a count of 2. That's it. Time is up. Time is up. Boy, what a match. Let me tell you. We have gone to the time limit here. Time is up. Time is up. Time is up. You've got to the...
I ain't beat. I can beat this punk. And I want to shut everybody's mouth for good. Just give me 5 more minutes. I want 5 more minutes. I can beat him. I had him beat. 5 more minutes. I want 5 more minutes.
I can't give you 5 more minutes unless...
Come on. I'm a champion around here. I can pick and choose.
I'm not sure that's smart.